Let's talk about how movements get started. I mean, really, think about it. We often imagine these huge, dramatic moments, right? But what if I told you that one of the most significant movements in history began not with a giant rally, but with a series of quiet, one-on-one conversations? It's all about a ripple effect, and we're going to break down how it happened.
So how does it really work? How does a single idea, or a single person, catch fire and just spread? Well, a lot of the time it starts with one voice speaking a clear message. And then from there, it's a chain of personal invitations, one person telling another, hey, you've got to see this. So let's trace that exact pattern, step by step.
All right, so our story begins in a kind of surprising place. Not with the main character, but with his warm-up act, if you will. There's this guy named John out by the Jordan River, and he's making some serious waves. He's got crowds of people coming to him for baptism, and he's causing such a stir that the top religious leaders back in Jerusalem send a group to find out, okay, who is this guy really?
Now, what's so interesting here is the first thing John does. He defines himself by who he isn't. The authorities are trying to fit him into a neat little box. Are you the Messiah? Are you Elijah, the prophet? And John says no to all of it. He makes it crystal clear that his role is very specific. He's just a voice, preparing the way for someone else, someone way more important.
I mean, talk about building anticipation. John has everyone's attention, but he completely deflects it. He tells this massive crowd, look, what I'm doing is one thing, but there's someone standing among you right now who is so far beyond me, I'm not even worthy to untie his sandals. That kind of humility is staggering, and it makes everyone in the crowd think, who on earth could he be talking about?
And then, bam, the very next day, the wait is over. The abstract becomes very, very real. John is there with his followers, and he sees a man named Jesus walking toward them. And this is the moment where everything changes.
This right here, this is the declaration that lights the fuse. John doesn't just say, hey, there he is. He gives him this incredibly profound title, the Lamb of God. Now, for his audience, that phrase was absolutely loaded with meaning. It brought up powerful images of sacrifice, of forgiveness, of the Passover. This wasn't just a name, it was a mission statement.
So you might be wondering, how is John so sure about this? Well, he tells us. He explains that he was looking for a specific sign, and he testifies that he saw it with his own eyes, the Spirit of God coming down from heaven, looking like a dove, and resting right on Jesus. So for John, this isn't just a guess, it's a witnessed event, proof positive that Jesus is God's chosen one.
Now, you have to understand, John's testimony wasn't just him shouting into the wind. It was a catalyst, and standing right there with him are a couple of his own disciples, and what they hear him say is about to completely change their lives.
So the next day, it happens again. John sees Jesus and says, look, the Lamb of God, and the effect is instant. Two of his disciples who hear him just turn and start following Jesus. I mean, think about that for a second. How powerful must John's words have been for his own followers to be inspired to just leave him and follow this new person?
So Jesus sees them following him, and he turns and asks this really simple question, what do you want? And their answer tells you everything. They call him Rabbi, which, as the text helpfully explains, means teacher. Right away, you know what they're after. It's not fame or power. They want to learn.
And Jesus' reply is maybe the most important invitation in this whole story. He doesn't give them a big speech or a set of rules. He just says, come and you will see. It's an invitation to experience him for themselves, not just hear about him. And they take him up on it. They go and spend the entire day with him.
And that one day, it changes everything. We learn that one of those first two disciples is a guy named Andrew. And the very first thing he does after his day with Jesus is go find his own brother to tell him about it.
And look at what Andrew says to his brother Simon. It's so direct. We have found the Messiah. That's the Christ. I mean, this isn't just, hey, I met a cool teacher. This is a culture-shifting, history-altering claim. He is telling his brother that the person their people have been waiting for centuries is finally here.
So Andrew brings Simon to meet Jesus. And in their very first meeting, Jesus looks at Simon and gives him a brand new name. He says, you will be called Cephas, which translates to Peter, meaning rock. This is way more than just a nickname. It's a new identity, a new purpose, given to him in the first few moments they meet.
Okay, so you can see the pattern taking shape, right? It's this incredible chain reaction. John points to Jesus.
That leads Andrew to follow. Andrew then goes and gets his brother Simon. The next day, Jesus calls another man, Philip. And what's the first thing Philip does? You guessed it, he goes to find his friend Nathanael. This whole movement is just growing organically, one personal invitation at a time.
But, it's not always that easy. Not every invitation gets an immediate yes. When Philip finds Nathanael, he's met with a pretty big dose of skepticism, which honestly makes the story even more interesting.
So Philip tells Nathanael, "We found him, the one Moses and the prophets wrote about. He's Jesus of Nazareth." And Nathanael's reaction is just pure disbelief. It's basically a town rivalry thing. Nazareth was the small, looked-down-upon village. You could almost hear the sneer in his voice. Nazareth? Seriously? Can anything good come from there?
And I love Philip's response here. He doesn't argue. He doesn't get into a big theological debate. He just uses the exact same simple invitation Jesus used, come and see. He knows that a personal encounter is going to be way more powerful than any argument he could ever make.
And what an encounter it is. As Nathanael is walking up, Jesus says, "Now here is a true Israelite, in whom there is no deceit." Nathanael is totally caught off guard. He's like, "How do you know me?" And Jesus' answer just stops him cold. "I saw you while you were still under the fig tree, before Philip even called you."
And just like that, Nathanael's skepticism completely evaporates. Gone. This one moment of what seems like supernatural knowledge is all it takes. He goes from total doubter to making one of the biggest declarations of faith we've heard yet. "Rabbi, you are the Son of God. You are the King of Israel."
Jesus sees his belief, but he immediately points to something even bigger. He's basically saying, "You believe just because I said I saw you under a tree? Oh, my friend, this is just the beginning. If you stick with me, you are going to see things that make this look like nothing."
And he ends with this stunning, prophetic image. It's a promise that this tiny group, formed by a simple chain of personal invitations, is about to witness something cosmic, a direct connection between heaven and earth. And that leaves us all hanging, wondering what could possibly be greater than that.